Wow, stories.
My pregnant wife turns into a monster and ignores my struggles. So I expose her secret chats with her ex and watch as her perfect world crumbles. Hi all, so my wife is pregnant with our third child. We generally get along great for the most part and are happily married. However, my wife has incredibly hard pregnancies, constantly throwing up, feeling malaise 24/7, etc. Let me say up front that pregnancy for her, and for women in general, is so hard. I can only imagine. My wife sort of turns into a different person when she is pregnant, and it's really hard on me. We do not have intimacy, which is fine, but it doesn't mean that it is easy for me to not love my wife in the most intimate way there is. She is snappy, rude, and inconsiderate. On top of that, it literally feels like she actively resents me. Because she gets sick and struggles with pregnancy, the load is pretty much all shifted on me. This is something I am aware of going into a pregnancy, and I welcome it. I handle bedtime every single night for 2 children. I provide dinner, clean up, do dishes, do laundry, get groceries, and work a full-time job as the breadwinner. She does work when she feels like it, has her own business. Again, to put it plainly, I generally do really well at manning up and taking the lion's share of what she is temporarily not able to do. But one day I told her that I hated pregnancies mainly because I hated seeing how much they suck for her, but also because they are hard on me. She was instantly upset, questioned what could possibly be hard about pregnancy for me, and discounted 100% of what I told her I struggled with. 1, dealing with a grouch who hates my guts. 2, reduced physical touch, which is my love language. 3, increased chores, house responsibilities, etc. 4, maybe a summation of all the above, but it feels like my best friend suddenly turned on me and left me out to dry. In short, it's hard for me because I feel like I lose my life partner for 9 months, and that really sucks. Like I said, she got upset, told me that I am not the one throwing up every day, which is very true. But it makes me sad that I can't even acknowledge the difficulties that pregnancy brings to others. Readers, please know I have no problem manning up and dealing with this in stride. But I am asking if anyone has advice as to how I can make this pregnancy journey slightly more tolerable for us both. I do not want to compete in the suffering Olympics. Pregnancy is glaringly, obviously harder for a woman. Just general advice. Edit. Lots of mean women in the comments. I appreciate the sincere feedback, especially the vent out theory. I've only mentioned this to my wife once, and I realize it is not the thing to say to the person at the center of target, but it happened. I've seen several people have issues with a couple of things. First, that I am a religious Mormon person who has the common high libido partner versus low libido partner problem. I'm having a hard time being apologetic to all those who think that I'm a slob, because I would love to have intimacy with my wife. Disregarding love languages, physical touch. Sorry, I mislabeled it. Is it horrendous to all of you out there that I reserve my intimacy life for my wife and my wife alone? Again, I understand that in pregnancy, she doesn't feel like it. That's fine. But it doesn't make it so I suddenly am not attracted to her or something. And the fact I am Mormon. Imagine if I was Muslim instead. All of you dickheads, would you have said the same thing? I guarantee not. The fact that I am religious has no bearing on this issue. We are normal people who both wanted more kids, although it took some time for her to convince me that now is the time to have a third child. And we knew pregnancy sucked before doing so. We want kids, and the struggle is worth it. But that doesn't mean I can't seek to make it more bearable. I don't expect her to be a handmaid, cook and clean. We divide up our marital duties and are satisfied with the division of responsibility. Outside of pregnancy, I am still a great father and husband who does an equal and proportionate share of household chores and other responsibilities. My wife does the same. She works part-time because she wants to, but if she wanted to be the main breadwinner, I'd totally be down. I think all these nasty comments sort of prove my point. First, I acknowledge I talked to the wrong person about my struggles. My wife needs to lean on me during her struggles, and for every moment, except the one I highlighted where I told her how I felt, that's what I am there for. One comment down at the bottom got downvoted 70+ times for saying that pregnancy isn't a free pass to be a jerk. It seems like a lot of women gatekeep the suffering in pregnancy. It's obvious pregnant women have it the worst, by far. I don't think I am in the wrong for feeling how I feel, and I was just seeking advice on how to handle it. The vent out advice is perfect, and I suppose I subconsciously understood this advice by coming here to Reddit, anonymously, to seek help and support. Thank you all again for outlining that for me. Last thing, it is pretty reprehensible that many of you are staunchly defending one group of people, pregnant women, while simultaneously dismissing my humanness merely because I belong to a different group. Again, thank you to all who read my post with a logical mind and offered advice. I admit I am not perfect and am actively seeking to be a better person. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. In grief, there's this thing called venting out. If you picture a set of concentric circles shaped like a target, the person in the middle of the target is the person the thing is happening to. The next concentric circle is family members. Then outside of that, friends, co-workers, religious figures, etc. Everybody in the circle needs support with the difficult thing. But when you're struggling, it's important to vent outwards, not inwards. For example, a friend should not complain to a cancer patient how hard it is to know someone who has cancer, or that person's spouse/child/parent. But that friend can complain to a therapist, religious figure, support group, or a friend who is further from the situation. This seems like one of those issues. Your wife is having a very hard time. It is unavoidable and temporary. You are allowed to feel like it is difficult, but you need to vent outward to friends, therapists, etc., not inward, to the person who is having a more difficult time than you with the same situation. Comment 2. You took it to the wrong person. I know people love to say your spouse should be your best friend, but this is one good reason why that's too many jobs for one person. Your wife is not open to hearing how her struggle is hard on you. She is in the center of the circle of needs. You are one ring out, still in need of and deserving of support from the outer rings of your system. If you don't have a close friend or sibling, or a close relationship with your dad, get yourself a counselor for a couple of sessions. You deserve to be heard and supported. Your wife categorically cannot be that support for you right now. Build a system outside of just the two of you. You each, and most people do, need to foster non-romantic, nurturing relationships. Now for the update. Thanks for sticking around for the update. Things took a turn this week that I didn't see coming. My wife's sister, who's always been the rock in our family, decided to move across the country. Out of nowhere, she got this job offer she couldn't refuse. Everyone's in shock. She's the one who'd step in when things got too much for me, the one who'd take the kids when we needed a break. Now she's gone, and it's like there's this big hole in our support system that we can't fill. With her gone, my wife's been even more on edge. She's not just sick now. She's anxious all the time, worried about how we'll manage. And I'm trying to be there for her, but it's like walking on a tightrope without a net. The other day, I found out she's been hiding how bad the morning sickness really is. She's been getting dehydrated, and the doctor said she might need to be hospitalized if it doesn't improve. That scared me more than I want to admit. Then, as if we needed more on our plate, my job's been piling on the pressure. They're talking about layoffs, and I can feel my position teetering on the edge. I've been staying late, trying to prove my worth, but it means I'm not home as much. The kids are feeling it too. They miss their aunt, they miss me, and they don't understand why mommy's always sick. Amid all this, my wife's business took a hit. One of her major clients pulled out, and it's thrown our finances into a tailspin. We had a huge fight about money, something we've always been good at handling together. She accused me of not being supportive, and I shot back that I'm doing everything I can. It got ugly, and I hate that. The next day, she apologized, but there was something off. She's been distant, and I caught her crying when she thought I was asleep. I want to help her, but every time I try, it seems to make things worse. And then, the news. I found out she's been talking to her ex. Not in a romantic way, but he's been giving her advice on her business. I felt so betrayed. Here I am busting my back for our family, and she's turning to someone else for support? I confronted her, and it turned into another fight. She said she felt alone, and that I wouldn't understand the business side of things. That stung. I thought we were a team. The kids have been acting out, and I know it's because everything's so unstable right now. I've been trying to keep it together for them, but it's hard when I feel like I'm doing it alone. My wife's sister was a big part of their lives, and with her gone, they're struggling to adjust. I've been leaning on a buddy of mine for support. He's been through some tough times with his wife's health, and he gets it. But even he's been acting strange lately. I found out his wife's been spreading rumors about my wife and her ex. It's like a soap opera, and I'm sick of it. I'm trying to focus on the good. My wife's still here. We're still a family, and we'll get through this. But it's hard not to feel like everything is falling apart around me. I'm holding on, but I'm not sure how much longer I can keep it up.